Welcome to the Pool Kind of Podcast, the new home for boxing. My name is Wendy, and I am your host and curator, bringing you the most honest takes on the sport I love without the bias and without the politics. A spot where we can all lead, seasoned veterans to the game and newcomers alike. So stay strapped in, subscribe, wrap those hands right, give us 5 stars, and keep that chin tucked. Tell your people about us. So who you got? The Pool Kind of Podcast. Let's go. Thank you for joining us yet again on the Pool Kind of Podcast. My name is Wendy, and I am here with Brandon. Brandon, say what's up to the people.
What's up, family?
Hey. How y'all doing out there? Everybody good? Y'all already know we have another great episode planned for y'all today. So first, why don't we start off with some recaps, bro?
Let's get into it.
And I have to be straight up with everybody. It don't happen often, so don't get y'all hopes up. But I was wrong on one of the fights. It is what it is. It happens to the best.
It happens
us.
to the best of us.
It happens to the best. But you know who was right though?
Your boy.
Truly. There you go. He was right, man. So I'm gonna let you start with the recap, bro, since it kind of went exactly how you saw it.
So Munguia versus Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
I think overall, I definitely think it was a good fight. We thought it was going to be an exciting fight.
Yeah.
I was impressed with Munguia's use of range.
Yeah.
Right. He did smother his shots a little bit.
For sure.
But this is probably the most I've seen him use his jab, right? Work his way in. I was a little nervous about him fighting the southpaw because there's definitely some traps that could be set.
Right.
But he pressed that action, pressed Ryder, landed some really good right hands. I'm always also nervous when fighters switch trainers. And I thought Freddie Roach gave him some really good advice about making sure he threw the 1-2, not just the right hand.
That was amazing advice.
Whenever people fight southpaws, you notice sometimes guys stop throwing their jab. Right? They kind of just want to get right hand happy.
Yeah.
And Munguia stayed with the 1-2, and I think that was a real key to the action.
Right. To me, Ryder, not that he didn't physically look bad, but to me, it kind of felt like he just got off the couch.
For sure.
Like this was just they reached out to him because they are sizing up, like you mentioned, Canelo.
Yeah, it looked like he was perfect time.
Let's get this guy who Canelo couldn't even stop. Let's
Perfect
get him.
timing.
And to me, he just looked like he got off the couch, man. I'm not gonna front. He had moments, but they weren't enough.
The funny thing about boxing is that styles do make fights.
Absolutely.
Right. And it also shed a light for me on one thing with Canelo. Canelo's volume is low. So even though he's maybe a harder puncher than Munguia, Ryder was able to do better with Canelo.
Canelo sits a little more on him.
Right.
He winds him up a little more.
Right. And it's just less volume.
Yeah.
Right. So even like you mentioned, he could be sitting on him, powering up for shots. You could see him coming a little bit better.
Yeah, right.
And even though they're bombs, because it's Canelo, he just could fare weather with a little bit better with him. Where Munguia just won with volume.
Right.
So I think he got a really early knockdown. Was it the second?
I believe
where
so.
He knocked him down.
Yeah.
And then after it was just downhill. It wasn't, it
was slow. It was a slow burn.
Yeah.
But once he got him, it was a wrap.
Yeah.
Once he got him, it was a wrap.
Right. Not if, but when it was gonna happen.
Exactly.
And Ryder was tough.
Right? He was. So he's a durable fighter.
Durable guy.
Yeah.
Real rocked up. That's the one thing. If he did, he looks real muscular. I'm not sure what his routine is. If he lifts a lot of weights,
right. He might be lifting a little too much.
He's real rocked up, man. Maybe that would help him if he changed that.
That could be, but he's also an older guy. So how much more can we actually expect from him at a high level?
For sure.
Especially losing to a young buck like that. It's usually like you're on the way down.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens as far as his career goes. But another fight from that night, the Fundora fight, and that was Sebastian Fundora's sister. I can't remember her first name. Gabriela? Is it Gabriela Fundora? Or Gabrielle? Forgive me if I'm getting that incorrect, but she fought Cruz. I can't remember Cruz's first name.
Is it Christina?
I can't remember, but that actually, I'm not gonna front, bro. I stayed up. It wasn't my favorite female fight.
For sure.
It was really slow.
Styles
I was disappointed.
fights,
Exactly. I was a little disappointed in Fundora. I thought Cruz was getting the best of her.
I think so too.
For a lot of those rounds, and I honestly think it was a little luck.
Me too. I would be interested to see what the cards look like had that gone to the cards.
Right.
I don't think the stoppage was correct. I do think that should have been a knockdown.
Yeah.
And they should have. Cruz deserved a standing 8 count.
Yeah.
But I don't believe they should have stopped it. It was awkward though. She did like a little weird spin where she gave her back up.
Yeah.
And I could see what the referee was thinking. Like, are you giving up?
Right.
Like,
Right.
What's going on? I thought he should have gave her a standing 8.
I agree. I completely understand too, because if I'm the ref and I just missed something, because he clearly missed something.
Yeah.
But for her to turn around like that, and like the normal body movements is like you're at least gonna cover the back of your head or you're gonna take a knee. But to just turn around like that, he thought you were dazed.
That's such a good point. She should have took the knee. That's such a good point.
Take a knee. Fundora,
such a good.
Sebastian did that in the Lubin fight.
100% when he was hurt.
Yeah, he took a
100%.
knee.
Like, Cruz should have taken the knee.
But the standing 8, I think, would have been ideal. But man, we've been seeing
because you see that happen. Not to cut you off, but you see that happen when guys go to the ropes and maybe the rope holds them up. Like, if the rope wasn't there, it would have been a knockdown. We wouldn't give him a standing 8.
Do refs even count that anymore? I don't see refs counting that anymore.
The
past few weeks, I've seen several of those. Like where the guys damn near fall out of the ring and bounce back, and then like,
you're supposed to action still going.
Like, nah, you're supposed to stop it and count. Like,
yeah.
But hey, refs have been an interesting part of the sport, I think, recently, man. But any other fights, man?
So I mean, just with the Fundora thing, kudos to her for getting the win. She's a young girl, and they're definitely trying to build her like she's the next, like her brother. I would say the one thing is she obviously doesn't punch like her brother.
No,
and I think that's dangerous, right? You know, when you develop fighters to come up in the same like skill set, and she has literally the same style.
Yeah,
they fight exactly the same.
Right.
She doesn't throw the bombs like her brother. She can get in trouble fighting like that.
She's gonna come up against some problems, bro. Because she's in the lighter weights. 2, she's really young. 3, she's tall, so her body's gonna fill out at some point. So what's she gonna be fighting, like the Alicia Baumgartners of the world soon? Like, what do you like?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Women's boxing, you elevate quickly when you have success.
This is what I'm saying.
Because there aren't as many like premium fighters. Exactly. As soon as you get a couple of good knockouts, you're like, she's a world champion already,
right?
And she'll be unifying shortly, and it might be too fast.
I don't see her beating any A-class fighters right now in the women's, obviously in the women's division. I don't see her beating any B-class fighters right now. Not from what I saw.
As long as she continues to be a weight bully at the smaller weight classes, but if she moves up, it might get in.
I mean, we saw how much that helped her in this fight.
Yeah.
You know,
she was definitely losing by like little flurries and stuff on the outside and not really knowing what to do. But we'll give that to Cruz too for being savvy. It's just like, I always think when fights like that match up and somebody's way older, because just to kind of give some background, I believe Cruz was 41.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, man, if Cruz had caught her in her younger years, I think she would have won.
Easily.
Like if they were the same age, she probably would have boxed that girl's shoes off.
Easily. It wouldn't have been a contest, bro.
Yeah,
that's from what I saw.
Yeah,
but hey,
kudos to both ladies, but
kudos to both ladies, and still don't let this deter you guys, because women's boxing is in an amazing spot right now. Would you agree?
Okay. For sure, 100%.
Women's boxing is in a great place. I don't think it's been this good since
like Layla Ali and Wolf.
I think Wolf. I'm more of a Wolf fan than a Layla.
Like that era, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So but it is a great time for women's boxing and just boxing in general. So don't let that deter you guys. All right, watch women's sports. All right, so moving right along. I feel like we talk about beef a lot, but it's boxing news, and you really can't avoid it.
I feel like it's so necessary in boxing because a lot of times how they build the fights.
It's a natural part of the sport.
It's a part of the sport.
It's been going on forever.
For sure.
Right. I remember seeing the clip of I think it was Ali and it might have been Lewis.
Okay.
He was in the casino playing like Baccarat or something like that, and Ali pulled up talking junk, and he pulled out a cap gun in public. Everybody thought he had a gun. And he's like, I'm gonna get it. And he like fake shot, and Ali just took off running like it was a cap gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm like, they used to get down back. You couldn't do that nowadays.
Man. Oh, no, for sure.
You could not do that nowadays. But Ali was he was an agitator.
Mm-hmm.
He was for sure an agitator, man. But speaking of agitators, Rolly Romero. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I don't know if it's just his voice.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about him, but I can see why people are annoyed with him. So if you guys don't know out there, recently, Rolly has been going in as far as drama or beef with everybody, right? But in this case, we're talking about Teofimo Lopez. They had choice words between each other. And granted, it is boxing media that's like fomenting a lot of this.
Yeah.
Right? You got another platform. I'm not going to say their name, but they interview Teofimo, and they're like, "Oh, so you and Rolly used to be friends, right? Like, what's going on?
They used to be close,
right? Trying to like get the reaction that they need, which is gonna be Teofimo like, No, and then you run over to Rolly and get his reaction, and Rolly's like, I saved him from suicide. I'm like, yeah, like what's going on here,
when
man?
you're someone's friend and you
know all their secrets,
you know all their deep dark secrets, and say it in front of everybody. Come on, man.
To make your point, to make yourself look better, man.
Come on, man.
We're seeing this a lot, bro, and it's a very interesting thing to actually witness, man. Top Rank, man. What's going on with their fighters?
You know what's crazy is like at first I'm thinking about that. I'm like, man, is Rolly trying to build his fight?
Yeah.
But just kind of knowing Rolly's personality, I just feel like he said that off the cuff just because that's who Rolly's crazy like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think he's an irritant. I think he's an agitator. Yeah. I think he's that annoying little cousin.
And I think he was annoyed by the sparring footage being leaked. Right. Yeah. Normally in just the, in the boxing last few years, Rolly's been the gym bully.
Yeah.
And it hasn't gone his way. I know when he was at Floyd's gym, he got knocked down by one of Floyd's fighters off like a check hook or something. He got back up. And now to see him getting dominated by T.O. like we talked about last week, that was bad, right? The way T.O. was doing him. So Rolly's the best right now, probably talking in that division.
Yeah.
He's great at it. So He got his lick back.
He's very good at it. Yeah. He's definitely very good at it.
Yeah.
But I really don't think that really translates into any major wins.
No, for sure.
Again, we saw what the old man did to him. So he's not an A-level fighter. And he just left his trainer.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
He just left his trainer. His trainer left him.
Okay.
His trainer left him. Because you get this in a lot of guys, especially guys who are very immature. Mm-hmm. Like I'm gonna assume, I don't know him personally, but I can only judge you as a man by what you show.
Right.
Seems pretty immature. The trainer says essentially that he was uncoachable, and once you get that money and the attention, because before he was perfect pupil.
Right.
Right. I taught you this. I built you up and got you to this point and got you to be a champion.
Yeah.
Right. And this is the things I get.
That makes me nervous for Rolly because he has a particular style.
Yeah.
You can't just go to every
particular style. That's a nice way to say it.
Yeah. Nice you can't go to every trainer and think that they're going to be able to, keep nurturing that style. It's very different. He's awkward.
Good luck.
Right.
Good luck. But he's one of those guys. We talked about Keith Thurman, and this is not a slight, but I can see him being like a Keith Thurman type without the extreme success.
Right, without the success. Keith was very successful.
Keith was very successful.
Sure.
I say that division wasn't as competitive. A lot of the guys who became the big guys in that division were lighter at the time.
For sure. Or timing is everything.
Bingo.
Yeah,
timing
is everything.
Timing is everything. But going back to top ranked fighters, man, Shakur Stevenson is the second top ranked fighter to say he retires. Like T.O. did that a few years. Was it last year?
It was last year. It was right after the win again. Yeah, right after the big win. Yep.
Right. Now Shakur Stevenson.
Cry for help. Cry for attention. I love you, Shakur, but come on. Man.
One of my guys brought up a good joke, and hey, Dennis, this is you, man. He said that he must have just found out that Jay Prince and them had him in a 360. I was like, damn, bro. Damn. Obviously, you can't come out and say that. So you got to act like it's because you missed out on a fight. I'm like, bro, he's a fighter that I think has been making the dumb, and I like the guy. I like his style and everything, but
100%.
It's hard to not like speak on like stupid moves.
Is he? In my opinion, I think he might be one of the worst managed fighters, artists. Because just if you take a look at the kid, boxing wise, he has a great style, right?
Absolutely.
He's a handsome kid. They can sell it. He can smile. He should be a star. They let him talk too much.
I hate when he tweets.
Somebody take his phone.
Please, I hate when he tweets.
They let him talk too much.
I hate when he tweets. And unfortunately, you know what they say, and I'm not saying he's a hero, but you know how they say don't meet your heroes.
Right.
Like it's better when there's that mystique. You just stick to the gym and we only see you on fight nights.
Right.
Don't show people who you really are.
And I get it in boxing. Sometimes people are trying to sell fights. You don't have a fight coming up
at all.
What are we retiring from? What are we doing?
And your last fight was
right.
Everybody calls it a snooze fest.
Right.
Everybody calls. I saw you in trouble with the puncher. And you not being able to figure it out.
Right.
You came out later and said you were injured.
It just looked like you didn't want to cross that line.
Right? Nah, it would have hurt.
There's a danger zone and everything, and in order to put on a show, you had to step across that line, and you could have won how you won, and you just chose to do that.
Right, and this is why other guys are stars. Like Tank's always willing to do that.
Yeah,
I think Who else? Who's another guy that's always willing to? Well, we got tons of guys.
we
Isaac Cruz
could
is
talk
always
Ryan
willing to do
Garcia.
that. Ryan Garcia is
Whatever
always
you
willing to
think
do
about
that.
his style, people made fun of the shoulder roll. He got a knockout.
You know,
that
I
fight.
like Ryan Garcia.
He got a stoppage, guys.
I like Ryan
right?
Garcia.
Like, that's important. I think what Shakur needs to do
Right.
is he's gonna have to do a Devin. He's gonna have to take a contract that's less than. He's gonna have to travel somewhere.
You think
fight
he believes in
somebody.
himself that much?
That's what he needs.
Clearly not.
The momentum isn't in his favor to be the A side and to get everything. Oh, Tank's gonna come to ESPN and fight me on. It's just not gonna line up that way.
ESPN on pay-per-view.
You see what I'm saying? He's gonna have to take a really big fight that's dangerous, maybe less than, put on the show and get everyone back in his favor.
You mean like Devin Haney when he had Undisputed?
100%.
25%.
Right. Went to
That
Australia.
Perfect.
He had to fight him twice. And, stuff that wasn't in Devin's favor. He had to leave his promoter, go to ESPN, things like that to get to where he is right now.
Right. Now look how Shakur looks. Kambosos is about to fight Lomachenko. That could have been you.
That could have been you.
You could have fought Frank Martin. You could have said yes to Devin. Like, it's terrible business, bro.
Right. The business
and
is
it
bad.
sucks. And again, is it in conjunction with Top Rank, or is this all coming from I can't remember Andre Ward and Jay Prince
business,
their venture, but is he the only person on their roster?
No, I see Jay Prince with a few different guys.
Okay.
Some of the same Olympic team
pedigree.
guys like Tiger Johnson and some of those guys I see him get in the ring with. So I think he has a few more guys under stable. And they train in Houston in that, right? So I think he has a couple of guys from that Olympic team. But
he ain't show me nothing, man.
Yeah, I just think overall it might be a Top Rank issue.
Okay, possible.
Combined with Shakur just in boxing skill wise, he is a star.
Absolutely.
But in real life, he's not. And sometimes that bothers people.
Right. Yeah.
He reminds me of one of those people. You remember when Bow Wow was like, I'm going to go to the people are chasing me in the mall. And he created.
No, it's me.
Right. It's like Shakur probably got up and went to the grocery store and nobody recognized him. And maybe that made him mad that day.
You're like, are you supposed to be in school right now? Like, what?
Yeah. It's like we get it, man. Boxing wise, you got all the skill and stuff, but just having to do cries for help, like I'm retiring today and stuff like that. It's crazy. There are fights for you to be made.
Yeah.
Wendy just mentioned a great one. Fight Frank Martin.
Easy.
Let's do it.
To me, that's an easy fight.
Fight Frank Martin.
You already got the attention. The fight didn't work out before. Y'all can really sell that. Frank is on a great team. Y'all can use the Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence thing. The little bros are fighting each other.
Let's get it.
And I think it'll be a great challenge for him. I like Frank Martin's style. I think he'll stay there and bang with him. I think Shakur, and I can't even say that. I was going to say Shakur could possibly walk him down, but Frank got a little sting too, though.
Yeah. Oh, he could. He could crack a little bit.
So I think that'll be a great fight. I like how Frank fights off his pivot. I like how he's able to show different levels. He's really well conditioned. I think that'll be an amazing fight. I think they need to make that.
I think we ultimately end up getting Stevenson Navarrete, and I just think at the weight class they'll be fighting at, Shakur will be too big.
Because Navarrete just pulled. He just moved up not too long ago.
I think that's gonna end up being Shakur's fight, and I don't love that for Shakur because you're gonna. I mean, Navarrete's dangerous. He fights awkward. Of
course he is, yeah.
But he's smaller, so there's like you keep picking on these smaller guys. You keep seeing you beat up on Oscar Valdez and guys that are not big guys.
Who was Jaron Ennis? Was it two fights? Last fight, Jaron Ennis.
Villa, he fought
Villa.
But before that, he fought Villa fought.
That guy was
you talking about Speedy?
No, not Speedy. It might have been Villa. No.
Yeah, he fought. Jaron Ennis fought Villa last time.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Him. Put on a show against Villa.
He did, and Villa looked good coming off his last fight.
Yeah, he beat up Speedy.
So exactly. So seeing how Jaron showed out against him, I'm expecting if they're able to make the Navarrete fight, I'm expecting Shakur to look like that.
Like I can see
that's
that.
how you're supposed
to fight
to look.
Navarrete, he has to put on the show.
But personally, and I don't know, we haven't talked about this, but personally, I think obviously he's bigger, but I think Jaron is a better fighter than Shakur. I think he's a better boxer.
More skillful.
He's more skillful, which is crazy to
say.
Hard
to say. Yeah, we're talking about elite. We're not picking at you. We're talking about elite.
They're both A level. Yeah. But Jaron looked like he got that special thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jaron Ennis. He got that.
Bud Crawford and Roy Jones.
That God. Yeah, we talked about that before. It's like that God-given thing. Yeah. It seems like he has
His twitch is different.
It's very different.
When he counter punches, he not only touches, he hurts people.
He hurts, yeah. So I would love to see that too. I ain't gonna front, but I don't know. You think the Navarrete fight happens?
I think that's what they have to build for Shakur. Because if you look at that side with Lomachenko and Kambosos fighting each other, what else would be lined up for Shakur? So I think they put him in with Navarrete, who is a big name and a good fighter,
right?
Just too small for Shakur, and they feed him to Shakur.
That don't do unless he has some kind of Showtime finish. That don't do nothing for him in his business. Either. Personally, as a boxing fan, from the business perspective, it does nothing for you, man.
In my opinion, either.
But hey, keep your head up and stay in the gym.
Yeah, we know you didn't retire, bro. We know you love boxing too much.
Stay off the tweeters or the X. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but hey, we'll see how he handles that.
Hey, Shakur, it worked because you got us talking this week anyway.
Bingo. And you know we're gonna talk about you, and we're gonna keep it as non-biased as possible.
For sure.
And we both done already said we appreciate your talent, but
huge fans.
The tweeting, you got to chill on that, man. You know what I mean? You got to chill on that. Oh, also, did you see Jamel Charlo? They actually stripped him of I think it was the WBC.
I did see that.
How do you feel about that whole situation? And now the next Sebastian Fundora fight is going to be for that actual belt. So
I feel bad for him because they've let a lot of fighters hold their belts for a long time, but I do like to see sanctioning bodies get active.
Yeah.
There's so many belts.
Yeah.
And if one guy's holding them all and not being active, let's take them from him.
Right. And you said guys holding their belts too long. I mean, his twin brother Jamal had 3 belts. Well, yeah, 3 belts.
Right. He didn't have to fight for like 2 or 3 years.
He wasn't fighting for a long time.
So I think the best thing that they do now is like, even if they strip a guy from a belt and he was like undisputed, they'll make you like the Ring Magazine champion. So I think he can't technically be stripped from that. So he'll be like the champion of champions at 154 still.
Right.
So if he wants to fight at 54 again, he'll still technically be the world champion, which I'm fine with. But let these guys have an opportunity at it since there are so many belts.
Right.
If you're not planning on being active, if you're a guy like Jamel Charlo, who just came off of a huge Canelo fight.
Huge payday for him.
Yeah, he's only going to do big fights from here, probably, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to let the Zoo fight build, if that's what you're waiting for, or possibly waiting for a Crawford, then let him take the belt from you.
I think Zoo wrecks him, bro.
Dangerous, right? But I mean, that's what he's waiting for, right? They'll do that probably in Australia, maybe.
Bro, I'm really high on Zoo.
Yeah,
bro.
Zoo's tough.
I'm really high on Zoo.
Zoo's tough. Zoo's tough. I kind of want to see him fight another dog, though, just to kind of, I want to see. It. Yes, Thurman's not the guy that's gonna push you, but I want to see him fight another dog because I just want to see what his defense looks like when somebody really can hurt him. What can he fight going backwards, right? I know you can ball over people, but what does it look like when you're in there with another guy that's like you? So that's the only thing.
Who at 154?
I would have liked to see him fight Fundora. Let's see what Fundora's dangerous, right? Let's see what
when he fights what's his name? Serhii Boachuk right now.
Right. Like if they were gonna end up elevating that for a championship, he could have just fought Fundora.
That would be nice.
And we would have all loved to see that.
That would be a great fight. But you know what? Fundora needs a belt. So that's the purpose of this.
He needs a good win to get back because last time we saw him, the last 2 times we saw him, he got knocked down, and the last time we saw him, he got knocked out.
Yeah. He needs a belt, though. I could see maybe a Zoo fight being next.
For sure.
I can't imagine Keith. I don't know about you. I cannot imagine Keith Thurman stopping Tim Zoo. I can't see Keith Thurman winning. Yeah. I just can't. It's hard for me to see that. Like I'm trying to find a silver lining.
It's gonna be tough. I know Keith still has some legs though. So as long as he's boxing and moving,
right.
We've never seen Zoo in the ring with a caliber fighter as Thurman, smaller guy, right? But just boxing wise,
caliber name. It's the name.
I think
it's the name.
We got to give Thurman his respect. He fought Danny Garcia, he fought Pacquiao, like he fought Sean Porter, right? He's fought some really good, some A-list fighters.
That's fair,
right?
A while ago,
for sure. But boxing knowledge is knowledge, right? He's been through it.
You're right.
He's got more tools in the tool shed,
right?
Than Zoo per se.
And we talked about the old man already. We know what he did to Rolly. So I'm not saying it ain't possible.
Sometimes you just don't know enough. You could be an animal.
Fair.
You could be a dog, right? Like there's guys that think, hey, if Canelo and Floyd fought at a different time, Canelo would have got him.
Right.
But guess what? At the time they fought, he didn't know enough.
Right. And it's funny you bring up Floyd because that gets me right into this next spot, man. Who Floyd ducked, man? Who did Floyd duck, bro? What's up with the narrative?
That's the narrative.
Yo, like boxing is literally you can't avoid narratives. We talked earlier about the Ali and Frazier or Lewis, whoever it was. Like boxing is all about narratives, bro. But seriously though, everybody's saying, and these are people who are like casuals with boxing or just like only pay-per-viewers.
Right.
When like everybody thinks, first of all, he ducked Pacquiao.
That wasn't.
And I'm like, huh? I'm like, yeah, I don't remember the contract with the necessary blood test. And Pacquiao said it's against my religion.
Yeah. Those who know.
Only to say later that he'll do it.
Yeah.
What, did you switch religions or something?
Yeah. Those who know. He didn't want the blood test. Right.
That blood. Come on.
It's not just urine samples we wanted. He wanted blood.
Blood, not just urine, bro.
Yeah.
So for you to be like, no, I don't want the blood. No, I don't. It's against my religion. I'm like, aren't you Christian? I've never heard this. What are you talking about?
Right.
You can just say whatever, and because you're a super fan of somebody, you're gonna be biased and not hold their feet to the fire.
The one narrative I've heard is like he ducked Margarito, and then my thing is when Margarito came out being the cheat. Right. Mm-hmm. My thing is like, okay, well, did he know something that we didn't know?
Possibly.
Right. And was he trying to get certain circumstances that Margarito wasn't going to abide by?
Yeah.
Right. And also, other than us boxing fans, Margarito wasn't a big name. Antonio Margarito is what I'm speaking about. Wasn't a big name. I can't think of any fighter during that era that was dominating boxing that Floyd didn't fight. I think he fought everyone.
Literally. And if anybody gave him a tough time, what did he do?
Fight him again.
Shakur,
you hear that?
Where's the punk at? I don't
Fought him again.
I don't get it. Where's the punk at? I'm trying like again, like you can think what you want outside of the ring of Floyd.
Sure.
I'm not looking to Floyd for like wisdom or anything like
guidance
that.
in life. Or
I don't care. 100%. I know he's obviously successful, but
for
like
sure.
as a boxer, give that man his respect. He's
sure.
the GOAT, man.
For sure. Came in with the name Pretty Boy, but was a dog. If you know, you know.
Look at the knockout percentage around the Pretty Boy era. Look at the knockout percentage. He was a dog.
Look at the Corley fights. Look at even when he fought Canelo. He was. I'm sorry, Cotto.
No, even when he fought Canelo, he gave that boy a lesson.
And he had to punch with Cotto because Cotto wasn't going.
Yeah,
right, he had to stand there and punch. Like
shout out to the Puerto Rican legend, man.
Right, man. Floyd definitely didn't duck. I just think the narrative. There's always going to be like a narrative because the way he talked, and then the way he made it look.
I think it's boxing media, bro.
The way he made it look. And then
he did make it look easy.
Yeah, he made it look easy.
He made it look easy, bro. Because I still remember Maidana damn near knocking
Adrian
Broner out of the ring and Floyd fighting him. Granted, that first fight, it was tough.
I still think he beat him easily, but it didn't look how Floyd wanted it to look.
It did not.
It didn't look like score-wise.
And Floyd got cracked a few times.
He got cracked a few times. And that just goes to Maidana's skill. It goes to Robert Garcia's game planning.
Mm-hmm.
They had a plan for that shoulder roll against the ropes, and how to throw that overhand right above the shoulder. I was
just gonna say the overhand.
They had a really good plan.
Oh, it worked. It was amazing. Right. I give all respect.
Shout out to Floyd's chin, by the way.
Homie still wears a tooth. Did you see that the meme with the tooth? That's supposedly Floyd's tooth, but I saw a video clip and it looked like something flew out of Floyd's mouth. I'm like, dang, you need a better mouth guard. But
that's crazy.
He wears a tooth around his neck, and I'm
tough
like,
dude,
damn,
man.
Yeah. Salute to him. He was able to damn near retire off of that Floyd bag twice. So
for sure,
hey,
fighting Floyd twice is like hitting the lotto.
Literally. But man, stop it out there, y'all. Like all the casuals, all you got to do is just look at the record, look at who he fought, look at their records.
For sure.
He didn't duck Oscar De La Hoya. He didn't duck Pacquiao. He didn't duck Shane. They're like, oh, he fought them when they were older and washed up. He's older than all of them.
For sure.
What are you talking about?
That's one of the key points.
Yeah, y'all forgot.
What happens a lot in boxing, like we just talked about the Fundora fight and her fighting Cruz at 41.
Right.
It's like, a lot of times when there's a great fighter, but he's, getting up there in age, they're setting up the young guy to put on a show.
Right.
Right. Just like Munguia, right? They set him up with an older guy that has some wear and tear.
Right.
That was Canelo versus Floyd. That was a pass the torch fight.
Bingo. They thought. Oscar been trying to dethrone Floyd for a very long time.
They thought. That happens all the time in boxing, and 90% of the time the old guy gets beat up, and we say, "Hey, man, he had a great career. Right. Thank you for everything."
Right.
And Floyd continued to fight many years after that, still dominating.
And that was Donaire, yeah.
Yes,
Inoue and Nonito Donaire, man. That's what that was supposed to be.
Yeah, changing
that
the
first
guard.
fight was amazing. Donaire left Inoue bloody. Second
Landed
fight
bombs.
wasn't. You know what I mean? It wasn't as the same.
Time caught up to him.
But salute. Right. Donaire is a freaking legend, man.
For sure.
Every
once in a while, there's guys that are just different.
Right.
Like a LeBron James bringing it to basketball, right? Everybody doesn't age the same.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we're good unless you got anything to add.
Nah,
man.
that was awesome, man. Floyd's a legend. My favorite fighter of all time.
All right. So here we are at Who You Got. The fight for this weekend is Conor Benn versus Peter Dobson. We have a few other ones. What are some of the other fights this weekend, man?
Yeah, this weekend we got Ben versus Dobson.
Yeah.
We also have Buatsi versus
it's Dan Aziz.
Joshua Buatsi versus Dan Aziz. Big card. I couldn't remember the other guy's name to save my life.
Wembley.
So yeah, and then we have the Ashton Sylvie.
I swear, UK, like I love how they're way more into boxing, bro. It's so
love it.
Yeah, it's so cool over there, bro.
They love it.
It's like in America, we can care less, man.
We have too much.
Yeah.
We got the Pro Bowl in Orlando. We got too much stuff going on.
Right. Dang, next week about to be good too. Yeah, my bad. Jermaine about to take an L. I ain't gonna front.
Ortiz, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he gonna take an L unless Teofimo come in like he did when he fought Kambosos.
My thing is, I hate to do this to Teo. I think he obviously deserved like a layup, but what did Ortiz do to deserve that fight?
I don't think he did anything to deserve that fight.
What did he do to deserve that fight?
I don't think he deserved any. I personally I'm never impressed by him personally.
He lost against Loma. They said and then he had like a tune-up little thing.
Right.
Fighting Teo. Like,
right. I don't get it, but good management. Shout out to his management.
Great management.
Shout out to his management. Yeah. Okay, so the Buatsi and Aziz. Who you got,
versus
man?
Aziz. I got Buatsi.
They're both good fighters.
Yeah. Buatsi's undefeated. I really like his style.
Right.
I like that he came over to America and learned some stuff.
Right.
I think sometimes that can happen to the European fighters where they fight that European style and then it doesn't work against everyone.
Right.
So I like that he came to America and got some seasoning.
Right.
I believe he trained with Virgil Hunter for some time and with Andre Ward's old coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I love Andre Ward. So anybody that like takes after that style, I love it.
Right.
So I hope Buatsi wins. Not trying to pick favorites. I like Buatsi.
I'm gonna rock with you on that one, man. But I will say this: Dan Aziz is not gonna make it easy for him. They're both really good guys. I think a lot of these companies in the UK, they put on more competitive fights.
For sure.
Like you don't really see guys over there getting like too many tune-ups or nothing. Yeah. I think they're more pure with the sport. I mean, the sport came from over there pretty much. You know what I mean? So I just think I see a lot more competitive fights over there. I think
they do that also to get our attention. Because like sometimes, I'm not going to watch these guys or whatever, but their cars are competitive and then it ends up getting your attention.
Right. All right. So Buatsi for that. As far as the Conor Benn fight.
Yeah.
I'm going Conor Benn. I think it's about to be I ain't going to say a murder scene. I ain't going to disrespect him like that. But I think Conor Benn is going to be too explosive for him.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's going to I think he's gonna crack him, man.
I saw Ben in person and was just really impressed with his explosiveness.
Right.
He's a smaller guy, but he covers distance really well.
Right. He's very athletic.
Yeah, can be kind of away and then kind of jump in with like looping left hooks and stuff like that and just kind of close the distance.
Right.
And from what I watched from Dobson, he looks like he's, a good boxer, has, pretty good fundamentals, but I didn't like for fighting Conor Benn, I didn't like how slow his feet looked to me. And I just feel like he's gonna just be in range too much for Conor Benn.
I don't disagree with that at all, man. But that's it as far as what I got, man.
Yeah.
We'll see. We should be doing an episode next week, or honestly, I might just we might have to skip for the following week and cover the Teofimo and Jermaine Ortiz fight.
Yeah.
The following week or whatnot.
For sure.
We'll see.
Big fight, but I think we all know what's set up for that anyway.
Exactly.
So we could talk about that after the fight.
And you know what? When we come back, we're gonna have tons of boxing news for you, updates, et cetera, et cetera. But that's all I got, bro.
That's all I got, man. Another week. Just happy to be here. Love y'all.
Hey, peace. Follow the Pool Counter Podcast on IG and YouTube at the Pool Counter Pod and at Pool Counter Pod on Twitter. Available where you get your podcast. Show your host some love at Wendy Antoine 5 and email the show at thepoolcounterboxingpod@gmail.com. Appreciate you tuning in and supporting the movement. And remember, leave 5 stars, share the love. Peace.